Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Sasha Heriot. I'm the UK Director of MASSworld, and today I'm interviewing Samuel G, who's going to tell us all about an event that's happening in about 6 or 7 weeks' time.
That's
Amsterdam.
correct. Yeah. My name's Samuel G. I'm the Conference Director for Advanced Maritime Technology Conference, taking place in June 16th to 18th at the RAI in Amsterdam. And I'm going to explain why we now have a new conference and expo called Advanced Maritime Technology, and why we brought together two well-known and well-attended conferences, one dealing with electrification of vessels and ports, and the other dealing with marine autonomous surface ships, which was the Autonomous Ship Conference. And those two are now together because I think that's probably the way that things have happened over the last 10 years. Much more of the technology is shared and interchangeable in terms of that. But we also have another element of that, which is with the maturity of electrification and hybridization of vessels, we now need to talk seriously about investment in port infrastructure for onshore power supply. That also brings in all sorts of other elements like, grid security and overall grid capacity. So there's a huge element there to do with finance. And more as we come to fruition of a lot of these technologies, more and more regulation that was once over the hill and far away is now coming up on us quite fast.
Thanks for that introduction. So this was, as you mentioned, it was two separate conferences, or a separate name of the event before, wasn't it? So,
yes, it was.
So tell me a bit more about the idea behind changing that, and what sort of people do you want to try and attract to this new event, and what's it going to look like for people that have been before?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of the people will be the same because they are the technologists and the thought leaders behind electrification and hybridization and autonomy. So those that element is there. What I would say is we would expand that element because in the way that we used to talk about, for example, port technology, which we have done. I mean, it's a really important theme. That's been within one conference talking about all of it. So we weren't able to give the sort of breadth and depth to talking about that. So we have, if you like, another conference that we've invented and put alongside this, which is to do with ports and infrastructure. So all together, you have the electrification and hybridization part, you have the autonomy and automation part, and then you have all of the technology around facilitation in ports, the grid capacity, the onshore charging, and then laid over the top, if you like, the fourth pillar of that will be regulation and finance.
That sounds really exciting. And how many days does these conferences take? Is it one day or is it a few days?
It's a 3-day conference.
Wow. Okay.
The final day is always just a little bit shorter as people start to, think about heading home. But yes, it's a 3-day conference, 3-room conference. As I said, there were 4 pillars, but just to explain, there's 3 rooms. You're regulating or financing something, one of those 3 things. So that element, if you like, takes part within those places. And I think you'll be interviewing later James Fanshawe, former Commodore in the Royal Navy, and he will be heading up and chairing the autonomous and automation part of that conference.
Okay, so when the attendees are in the conference, they've obviously got the opportunity then to have a walk around the expo. So can you tell me a bit about what you'd expect to see as a visitor to the expo as well? Because it's changed, the format, the name of it's changed a little bit to Advanced Technology. So is a theme changed as well with what you expect to see?
Yeah, I'd say it was. I mean, there's a lot of the technology that you need to electrify and hybridize vessels, all the way from the motors and the energy storage systems, whether that's fuel cells, batteries, whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot of that because those are the fundamentals. There's also quite a lot of all of the other types of technology, and that's the area that we want to expand into because there are automated systems which you might want to put. But before we were talking, if you like, solely about autonomy, and now we're talking about automation and autonomy, and a lot of those systems have applications which and more wider. So we've widened the scope of what can be used on vessels, and we want to talk about automation and autonomy. So we're expecting that element to expand. There's also quite a lot. We have always had people talking quite a lot, or sort of exhibiting onshore power supplies systems. People like, Cavitec and others who have been supplying the power system, but that just fitted in, if you like, to and now that's a much more expanded landscape. There's a lot of investment going in to comply with the alternative fuel infrastructure regulations from the EU. So, we're expecting quite a big expansion in that area.
Okay, great. And as an exhibitor there, what type of people do you expect? What's the demographic of people you're expecting to attend the show this year?
I think it's generally technical. So we're talking about, if you like, the superintendents, people who be responsible for the infrastructure of ports in terms of what they can offer. It's much more about the facilitation of technology. I think that would be general. I mean, it's a very kind of engineering heavy audience, quite discerning. We've noticed that they know their onions. They are in a position to talk knowledgeably about what they want to see, whether the suppliers there can provide that. So it's the place to be, I think, if you are offering that kind of technology to the industry.
Sounds like a place for decision makers to go and see what's about and what's available for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a specifier. People always mix up the sort of decision maker, the name on the check, with the person who advises what you buy. So
exactly.
The specifiers are there for sure. Yeah. I know for a fact. I know lots of them.
Yeah, thinking about coming towards the end of this interview, how would you attract somebody to what's the thing that's going to bring someone to the conference or the exhibition? Well,
I think if you're at all interested in digitalisation, automation of vessels, becoming more of an efficient operator of your vessel, and you want to understand and learn what technology is available for you to do it, and also hear from people who've had the expertise in applying that technology to vessels and ports, then this is the place to be. We have the knowledge experts, the subject matter experts in all of those areas, talking knowledgeably. I mean, for example, in the conference, we have multi-stakeholder presentations from people who, for example, put the largest battery system upgrade onto a RoPax ferry. That's the largest in the world. We have the people there that did that. The ESS supplier, the integrator, the main engine supplier. So, it's the place to learn. You can ask questions. You can really take a deep dive into that. So we have that and port case studies from, for example, Barcelona, from Odessa, where they have to put up with, their infrastructure being bombed and missiled and still stay online. So, there's a lot there. The Port of Valletta, Clean Harbour, obviously. Iceland has invested in optimizing how they purchase energy. All of those case studies, all of the elements that you want to think about as a vessel owner or a port operator, they're all being discussed there in quite some detail with the practitioners who do it, who you can go and talk to. I mean, it is the place to come and have a chat about what's going on. It really
sounds like the place to be. So just remind us, where is it, when is it, and where do we fly to?
Yes, that's the when is it, where is it, what is it? Yeah. So it's in June. It's the 16th to the 18th at the RAI in Amsterdam. We'd love to see you there. I'm sure MASSworld will be there, sitting in the front seats as they have in the past. It's a large exhibition. And a very good conference. Obviously, if you buy a ticket for the conference, you can go to any part of that you want. So you can get a good grounding in all elements of it, or you can dig deep into the specific areas that you want to. And that's the benefit of the new conference format.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.